What's going on, everyone? I'm just a typical average American here today to react and learn about how to spot an American in Canada. I think this question is absolutely hilarious. I love it, and probably so true. I was looking on Reddit. I found this little discussion about Canadians. What is the easiest way to spot an American in Canada? Oh, we just stick out like a sore thumb, huh? No, I bet these are funny, the answers to this. I don't know what to expect exactly, but I bet they're funny, but also true. Because Americans get a lot of things wrong. They think they know probably more than they do. And when in Canada, all chaos breaks loose. And the Americans, I guess maybe you can spot them from a mile away. I don't know. But this discussion just seemed too good to pass up. So let's take a look. Is there secret spidey sense, but for Canadians? Curious to know. Okay. How do you spot the American in Canada? A uni student who goes to college and is a freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Okay. So I'm a little familiar with this. So even just saying goes to college, that's no good. It's university. Excuse me. University. I'm going to university or uni for short. I like that. Uni. We use vaguely use those terms in America for sure. Just usually college. Usually college we say. And the whole freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. Well, I could turn that back on you if someone said grade 10 or whatever, however you say it. Maybe I can't turn this around. Maybe I don't. If you say grade 7 or grade 8, that's not like how we structure it or say it in America. So I'd be like, hey, that might be a Canadian. What's going on over there? But yes, this is true. We do say these things. What else we got here? That's pretty tame and also very accurate. Even for Americans who live relatively close to the border, Chicago, New York, Boston, there's a noticeable accent. There are also specific words, such as restroom, that give them away. The specific words, yeah, absolutely. Restroom. Is it washroom? Is that what it is? Yeah, there's no way I could break that habit. Man, washroom just sounds a little nicer, now that I think about it. Washroom. Restroom. Yeah, that would definitely point me out. There's a noticeable accent? Oh, if for Chicago, New York, and Boston, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Okay, I thought they were saying for all Americans. Because, honestly, from what I've seen, and I'm a little disappointed in this, a lot of Canadians just sound exactly like Americans. Like, there's no, Canadian accent, American accent, it's very typical and similar for both from a lot of what I've seen. Now, obviously, depending on where you live in Canada or America, you can have some wild accents, some really interesting accents. But I like that. I think that's absolutely fantastic. Okay. I live 30 minutes from Ontario. Chicago, New York, Boston accents sound different to me. Yes. Restroom, really? Yeah, restroom? That's gonna be the thing that would break my cover. I'd be sneaking around in Canada. No one would be any the wiser, and then be like, "Can I use? Do you have a bathroom?" And everyone's heads would just snap towards me and be like, "American, there he is. Did you mean the restroom?" Yes. Okay, that's pretty good. Pretty good. Their dog sled isn't maintained. Okay. Okay, this is a joke, right? Although I swear in one of the videos I've reacted to in the past about Canadian activities, there was dog sledding. I mean, it even sounds ridiculous for me to think about now, because it's so not anything close to what an American has ever experienced in America. The dog sledding, but I'm fairly sure you can dog sled in Canada, or people do, I should say. Of course you could. Of course you could dog sled if you wanted. I'm saying, do people dog sled? Anyway, I I'm doing it again. I'm letting this, I'm letting one statement about a dog sled really drive me off into the abyss of thought. But yes, I think this is kind of a joke. Maybe not. Maybe all Canadians' dog sleds are maintained. I think that's a joke. Not every Canadian is out there dog sledding. You can't fool me. Shoddy Yankee sledsmen are the worst. They don't even have a dog sled. Uncouth. Wow. True. True. We're uncivilized. No dog sled. They ask for the restroom. The restroom. Again, I can't believe that's appeared again. The restroom is what would point us out, huh? Oh, here's a Canadian. I once asked where the washroom was in a store in the US. The employees had no idea what I was talking about. Yeah. Yeah, I would think you're talking about like the laundry room, like where the laundry machine is, or where a bath is. It's weird because we say bathroom. That's more associated with a bath. I don't know. I'm not saying any of it makes sense. I'm just saying it is what it is. It's strange. Everyone else asks for toilets. Really? Wait. In the US? Maybe some people. I mean, most people would not be like, "Where's the toilet?" Maybe some people. I'd think that was a little odd. But there'd be no confusion. I'd know what you wanted. Um, the more drawn out A sounds at the beginning of drama and pasta and at the end of pecan. In my I don't even know how I say these things anymore. I don't even know anymore. In my experience, so of course, not universal, I went to grad school with a pile of Americans, a pile of them, a pile of Americans. And this held true for most of them. This is pretty much a dead giveaway. The drawn out A sound is a dead giveaway. Brits use these too, but with British accents you can rule them out. Yeah, the British accents, that's the thing. A British accent is a British accent. That is distinct. But an American accent and a Canadian accent, for the most part, for a large part, are pretty darn similar. Hard to distinguish. You got to look out for those bathroom sayers, apparently. Also, soda. Yeah, a lot of the northern US states say pop as well. Oh, Canada says pop. Canada says pop. Why did I not know that? But I don't think I've met a Canadian that used soda in normal conversation. Yeah, if a Canadian said pop, I would just think they're from another part of the United States. One of those weird parts of the US that says pop. I don't even understand them. Yeah, I say soda. Most people I've ever encountered in my life say soda. Like, I've never actually heard anyone say pop and mean it. They were being ironic or something. Huh, interesting. Also, I dated a guy from California. He looked at me like I was insane when I said I was leaving my car in the parkade. He had no idea what I meant. I would have no idea what you meant. I would be that guy. I'd be like, what are you talking about? The parkade? That sounds painful. Are you sure you want to leave it there? It sounds like arcade. The parkade. It sounds like a garage, but fancier. Well, I don't know why I think like washroom sounds fancier, parkade sounds fancier, university sounds fancier. I don't know. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but for some reason that's like my American predisposition chiming in. Certainly not a bad thing. Fancy. First time I'm hearing this term, parkade, and I immediately had a mental image of an arcade for cars. Yeah. Yeah, seriously. Parkade. It almost makes sense. It has the word park in it. Huh. Ask if they know what a duotang is. Oh boy. I would be dead in the water. I would be outed. This discussion is hilarious. How to spot an American in Canada. There's a lot of ways. I never realized. Ask if they know what a duotang is. I don't know what a duotang is. I'd Google it. This is what I would do. Duotang. It's on Amazon? It's a heavy-duty plastic folder with pockets. It had. I know of a folder. I know what a folder is. This folder is so good. It has its own name. That's pretty impressive. Duotang. Okay. Never heard of it. Which is hilarious because the company was American. Ah, I just Googled it. Me too. Me too, fellow American. Me too. Because no, we Americans don't know what that is, but we have them. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's just a folder, but with a fancy name. When my American friend was visiting us in Montreal, he was constantly calling our money monopoly money. That's funny. I mean, the money in Canada is very beautiful and colorful and vibrant, like play money might be to an American, because it's so unusual. It's so different from our money, which is quite boring and not very interesting. And he was saying how worthless it is. Worthless it is. Why was he saying that? Why was he saying how worthless the Canadian money was? That doesn't make any sense. They certainly outed him as an American. Yeah, he sounded actually kind of rude, which is weird. But saying it was monopoly money, he may have been trying to be rude, but also I kind of understand where he's coming from, where if you're an American who's only seen American money, every other money on the planet is a lot more interesting, especially Canadian money. And I still don't know if it actually smells like maple syrup or not. Still don't know. Okay, what else we got? He orders a Bloody Mary instead of a Caesar. So are these the same thing? But it's called a Caesar in Canada? That's interesting. That's like a really, really in the weeds, really specific difference. Yeah, that's what a lot of these American isms are turning out to be, aren't they? Just really specific words that don't exist in Canada. So on the flip side, Canadians, if you don't study this too, like I am, you would be revealed in America, except an American, I don't know if they'd actually bother picking up on it, and that you could be from anywhere on the planet, and we would have no idea what it meant. So yeah, probably a bit more hidden than an American in Canada. Okay, what else we got? They don't carry any protection against the Great Canadian House hippos. Hint, it's not a gun. I'm so fortunate that I watched that random YouTube commercial advertisement compilation for Canada. That was really lucky because I've heard like the house hippo referred to like a million times at this point, and I would be so confused if I had not seen the commercial with the house hippo. And I can't believe it's coming up yet again. And apparently we would not carry protection against it. Protection against the house hippo. What does that mean again? I always have a pocket full of peanut butter toast crumbs for just such an occasion. Do you have to feed them? I forget what the commercial was for. I think that's what one of my observations at the time was. I was like, what is this even an ad for? The house hippo thing. I don't even remember what it was for. I just remember the house hippo. Okay. Maybe I'm not alone in that. Who knows? Ask them if they know what a craft dinner is. And I would know this one. I would know. Ask me this. I dare you. I could fool you. An American will have no idea because it's mac and cheese here. Yes. I learned it's macaroni and cheese. Mac and cheese. Which is interesting because the brand name is Kraft. So if someone said Kraft dinner, I would think they're talking about some kind of make-it-home generic dinner made by Kraft, maybe? But I wouldn't know they're talking about macaroni and cheese at all. So this is totally accurate. It just happens to be one that I know. So good luck. Sorry about that. I'm Canadian and I consider them to be two different things. Really? Oh no, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. I thought I understood things. I had a grasp on things. If I tell my husband we're having macaroni and cheese for supper, he knows I made the cheese sauce. But we also have Kraft dinner sometimes. It's two different words for two different dishes. Now I'm confused. If it's macaroni and cheese in Canada, you have created the dish. I guess you've made the cheese and the macaroni and combined them. Okay, sounds like just really nice, fancy macaroni and cheese. I mean, everything just sounds nicer in Canada. That's what I'm taking away from this. Somehow, this is a discussion on how to spot an American, and at the same time, it's a discussion on cool words and stuff in Canada, somehow. I ain't complaining. What else we got here? Scroll down a bit. They pronounce the T's when they say Toronto. Yeah, yeah, I do. Toronto. So what could that be? It could be like Toronto. Could you say it without the T at the end? Toronto. Oronto? There could be no T's. Orano? Toronto? There's a lot of stuff like that in America as well, where letters and stuff get like left out over time when you say it all the time. And Newfoundland. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Toronto? Wow. Wow, this guy is a genius. He spelled it out so that I could say it. Toronto. Whoa, that is a hack right there. Not Toronto. Toronto. Wow, that's fun. Oh my gosh, that is great. Wow. And Newfoundland. Newfoundland. Newfoundland? Newfoundland? I feel like I enunciate a lot of it. I say Newfoundland. I'm guilty of that. Gosh, I would stick out. There's just too many things. There's just too many things. Too many American ways of speaking. When they say A as a strange as a strange way to connect with us, that is funny. But there's some truth to that, eh? Okay. How was that? Was that smooth? A strange way to connect with us, like we're speaking the language somehow by adding an A. That's fun. I'm Albertan, and I say A extremely frequently. It's a compulsion. It's not used much in British Columbia. Interesting. Or a boot. That is something Americans are convinced all Canadians say. A boot. But I know that's an exaggeration. I know. I've learned. They wear their outdoor shoes indoors. Yeah, some people will, but I was raised to not wear my shoes in the house or inside places. Unless it's a public building. You know, if you're in Japan or something, everyone takes off their shoes everywhere, right? They put on special slippers. They're very, very courteous about that. In America, you would take off your shoes if you're in someone's home, basically. Some people wouldn't, I guess. They are truly outrageous, though. Few Canadians do that. Nearly everyone takes off their outdoor shoes at the door. Like at the door of any place or just homes. There's a pretty big distinction in my mind. So I wonder about that now. I do wonder. I would probably err on taking my shoes off. Personally, I ask if they know the secret. When they don't answer correctly, I know. Is this a joke? Is this just supposed to screw with me? To make me wonder what the secret is? When I ask if they know the secret, and then I would say, I don't, what's the secret? And then the Canadians would know that I'm an American? Is that what would happen? Nods in the secret code. So this guy knows the code. Yeah, it's of course the secret. All Canadians know the secret. What's the secret? Oh, here's the American. Here he is. Found ya. What's the secret? Yes, the secret. I don't think there's a secret. I feel like there's not a secret. I feel like I'm getting duped. That's what I think. Maybe I'm totally wrong. The great Canadian secret. When you're at Tim Hortons and you overhear them comparing everything to Dunkin' Donuts. Well, yeah, I bet you'd hear Americans In Canada, comparing everything to America, huh? I guarantee you. I mean, I'd probably be guilty of that as well. It's my only frame of reference. Ugh, I was having some Tim Hortons withdrawals. Got Dunkin' Donuts. Everything tasted like donut grease, including the coffee and smoothie. Hmm. Unlucky. Unfortunate. Dunkin' Donuts. That's a big American donut brand. They are known for their coffee, but it's nothing like comparable to Starbucks. That's where everyone goes. Dunkin' Donuts, I'm sure the donuts in America, just on average, are far more packed with sugar and stuff to appease the American palate that we have built up, if that makes any sense. I had some Californians come into our store to buy a handgun so they could protect themselves from the neighbor's dog. We told them it doesn't work like that up here, and they caused a scene. Wow, we politely asked them to leave. Eventually they did, hopefully more educated when they walked in. Wow, there's just certain parts of the country in America where it's just more common to own a gun, and gun laws are different state to state in America, with some putting a lot more emphasis on the right to bear arms, to own a weapon. But to to say that you want a gun to protect yourself from the neighbor's dog is not honestly sounds like a super ignorant American thing, but I gotta say, like, I've never heard anyone say anything like that, and maybe you'd encounter some people out in the countryside who are like that, but the dog would have to be like the most rabid, vicious dog on earth. Like, you can't just be purchasing a gun because you don't like your neighbor's dog, like you're gonna do something with it. That's not right no matter who you are. Yeah, a little disturbing there. A little disturbing American behavior. Z and Z. Yes. I can tell this is a Canadian because they spelled out Z, Z-E-E, like to make the pronunciation really obvious. But for me, if I just saw the letter Z, I'd know it was a Z. It's just funny, it just stuck out to me. Because you have to spell out Z. Well, no, you don't. What am I saying? If you're Canadian and you see the letter Z, you think Z. So it would work the same way. Man, I'm kind of silly for that. Right, it works both ways. Funny how that works. I've just never thought of it that way. I'm not an Anglophone, and that's how I spot you guys. Yes, that's a big one too. I forgot about that Z and Z. It feels like every country on Earth says Z, and only America says Z. I never knew that for the longest time. I started hearing Z every now and then, and I was like, what is that weird place that says Z? And then I heard it more and more and more and more, and I was like, wait, everyone is saying Z, but Americans say Z. We're the ones that are correct. Yeah, we're right. It's Z, you know. Desperately trying to cling on to the Z. Yeah, I know of the Z. It does stick out, the Z. No way, LOL. Canadians say Z. It's forced when they say Z. Okay, well now I just don't know what to think. Also, metrics we don't really use. All of the metric measurements. We are 120 pounds, not kilos. We drive in kilometers per hour because the cars say it. We measure in grams and ounces. We measure foods empirically. We're not centimeters, we're inches and feet? Really? This is almost a topic like worth its own video. Like, I don't know if any of this is accurate or what. I thought Canadians say Z just because I've heard it a few times. This guy's from Quebec. And now this guy chimes in and says, no, Canadians say Z, and we also use some empirical units. I've rebelled. I don't understand why anyone would say Z, so I've always said Z. What a rebel. Wow. College or university t-shirts, even if they graduated decades ago. Hey! Wow, Americans have a lot of pride in their college, I guess. True. I wouldn't think anything of it, seeing that kind of shirt. Wait, hey man, I spent hundreds of thousands in debt to get the degree, and I'm gonna wear the shirt. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Seriously, it's kind of sad. Exactly. They are usually a tiny bit too loud and too intense for the situation. Just a scooch too loud and too intense. Is that just Americans in a nutshell? Just any situation, just tone it down a bit. When in question, tone it down, Americans, and you would fit in a lot more. Yeah, I agree with that one. That's funny though. They could live 5 kilometers from the border and still be clueless about Canada. I totally agree. They always refer to any place as up in Canada. Yeah, yeah. Do Canadians say like down in America? They are unable to narrow it down to province or city. Oh, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that. Americans have no idea about like what the provinces are, where the cities are, anything about geography in Canada. And I'm very guilty of that as well at times. We would say my aunt retired in Arizona. Right, right, but Americans are like, "Oh, yeah, they're from Canada. They're from Canada." Yeah. You know, no more specific. They say Quebec. Okay. Now I just feel like this is a personal attack. I've stopped saying Quebec as much, and I throw in a Quebec every now and then. I've noticed that. So, ha! Ontaritonian here. Ontaronian here. Isn't that how it's pronounced? Oh, really? I grew up in southern Ontario, far from Quebec, and people who actively spoke French. Next, you're going to tell me it's Poutine, not poutine. Right. This guy gets it. Okay, this guy gets it. Right. He knows what Americans are dealing with. The way they pronounce Montreal? Oh no, it's a dead giveaway. They say Mon, rhymes with lawn. Oh, he's right. Trial instead of Montreal. Oh, like how Monday is Monday. Montreal. Montreal. Okay, there's only so much I can do about this, guys. I don't know. There's only so much I can do. Like I can't change it all. It's Montreal. I'm sorry. This is how I figured out Catherine O'Hara was Canadian, since she said Montreal the Canadian way in Home Alone. Oh, huh. Wow. So these are, man, all these crazy ways to identify the American. Who knew? They want to play cornhole. Okay, listen. I lived, at one point I lived in Pennsylvania, had no idea what cornhole was. I moved further south at a certain point. Suddenly, I absolutely know what cornhole is. People play cornhole. You throw a beanbag into a hole, and it's a game. But it's not just Canadians. Like, there's a lot of Americans who, depending on where you live, don't know what cornhole is. But I had to learn that as well, to be honest. Um, they say soda. Yep. Yep, yep, yep. They're loud. Dang it. And they ask for sweet tea. Source: I'm someone who's been in hospitality industry. Sweet tea as opposed to iced tea? Is it? Only Southerners drink sweet tea. I've heard both in America, to be honest. And don't ask me the difference. Don't worry, they'll tell you. You know how to spot an American? They'll tell you. You won't ask, you won't even engage in conversation, but they will make sure you know. You know what? That's the perfect little spot to end off on this. This was very entertaining. A lot of funny answers, too. What's the easiest way to spot an American in Canada? There's a million ways. That's what I found out. We are just so obvious. Fine. You know what? I guess we just got to own it. But there's a lot of different ways to pronounce words depending on where you are. But I get it. There's a lot of funny things in here, but a lot of truth as well. I don't know. I don't know how much time I have to devote to studying all of these different things to complete the illusion of a Canadian. Perhaps I'm just destined to continue on my American ways, but in a more educated fashion. We'll leave it at that. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed this, feel free to give it a like or leave a comment. And if you're interested in more videos like this, me reacting to Canada, Canadian culture, stuff in Canada that I've never learned about before or seen before, feel free to subscribe for more. And until then, thanks for watching, and see you next time.